What's up, homies? Welcome back to Agents After Hours. Our podcast is for agents who want to talk about the parts of this industry no one wants to admit out loud.
We're Erica.
And Paige.
And we're here to bring you unfiltered, unapologetically honest. Pour a drink, take a breath, and let's dive in, baby.
We're going with it.
We're going
with it. This is the one. All right, guys, this week we have a special guest. This guest literally slid into my DMs and told me he was trying to stay away from Brandon and I, and we kept triggering his ass. This guest is near and dear to our hearts, and the one, the only Ryan Woodruff with Rhino Consulting Coaching.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, of course. I wrote about you. You didn't send me anything, by the way, Ryan.
Who?
You.
That's on my website. My bio's on my website.
Well, I pulled something from somewhere.
Oh, that should be fun. Let's go. Yay! I want to hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. All right.
I'm terrible at receiving compliments. So if you say something really nice about me and I look kind of stoic, it's because I'm not good at receiving.
I didn't say anything that nice.
Oh, great. Cool. Then we're good.
Aw. I'm just kidding.
So Ryan is a leadership and communication coach and also my personal therapist for all things business. He is very high energy. He's a former financial industry executive, real fancy, certified master trainer and dynamic coach, dedicated to organizational growth through employee development, which I love, through an award-winning career spanning 3 decades while leading sales, service, and operations and generating billions in revenue. He has found a special mix in blending education, motivation, and accountability. With over 60,000 hours, which is a lot of fucking hours, of leadership experience, he is passionate about helping teams, individuals break through barriers to achieve the highest level of results while improving their job satisfaction.
Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me. And man, it reads well. When you hear it, it just screams old. So I got an early start. Listen, I was in the junior high leadership development program. Like, that's how I've had all that experience, not because I'm almost 50.
But aren't you almost 50?
Not
It's close
yet.
to 50.
I got
Very
a
close.
whole ass year.
When's your
Plus.
birthday?
June
June what?
29th.
So
Like
you
a
have
year
6
and 5
months?
months, really. I got like a year, almost a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be 49 this year.
Yes, I'm just prepping myself. Like, it's a big
okay.
deal to hit that number, so I'm like preparing myself. I actually did that at 42. I started saying I'm going to be 40 like at like 38 and a half,
Yeah.
so yeah. Paige, you should probably start doing that soon.
I'm not even 35 yet.
I know.
Bitch.
Man.
I've been saying it to Brandon, so.
Oh, well, he is almost 40.
I
He's
know.
40 this year.
Ooh.
Old man. Old man.
I think 40 is going to hurt. I think 30 was fine. I think 40 will hurt, to be honest.
I think 40 will hurt.
It's just tough because it's like the only people, once you're 40 plus, like once you're in your 40s, the only people that still say you're young are like clearly old.
Yeah.
Like really old people are like, oh, you're only 40, Sonny? I'm like, okay.
Only. But then you get a high school student and you're old as shit. On TikTok, which is mostly younger generations, it's like the old people, like back in the 90s. And I'm like, what the fuck? People born in the 90s is like me saying people born in the 60s.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 1995.
I was 2.
It's a long time ago.
You look great. You don't look like you're pushing 50, though.
Well,
So,
thank
For
you.
sure.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate that. That's because of my shiny head.
Yeah, maybe.
Make sure you keep it shiny.
Very.
I work on it.
Do you put like wax on it?
No, I actually don't bick it. I just shave it with no guard. So I don't really
I
like
fix it.
the whole like super shaving thing is it's too much work. I'm lazy. I have other things to do, like talk to people.
Makes sense.
That's so funny. That sounds like me. The other day, there was a situation that came up and I'm like, I don't have time to even think about that. I got shit to do. Like, Get it out of
Keep it
here.
moving.
Yeah, let's
Plagued
go.
with the always wanting to do 10 things and only ever having enough time for 6 or 7 of them. That will never stop.
I literally was thinking about that on the drive today, like heading to the podcast, and I'm like, I have a lot on my plate but I always bite off more than I can chew, and I figure out how to chew it anyways.
And you won't that won't change. Like
Oh,
I'm your coach and I'm older and it still doesn't change. I always want to do 10 things and only have enough time for 5 to 6 of them. So that's
yeah,
just how it works. Action
yeah,
oriented.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it drives us. So,
Yeah, I love it. I always got to do something.
yeah, me
I
too.
wish I had more chill. Some people can just chill. My wife is amazing at just chill. I
Oh,
don't know. I am very envious of people who have chill. I have zero chill.
that
0.
just wanna, like, chill, like, on the couch and watch something, and you're just like, "I can't. Like, I cannot sit here."
Right.
Unless if
Yeah.
I'm sick and bedridden, there's no freaking way.
Yeah. You're
Or
much
if it's the end of the night and I'm, like, exhausted and I can't keep my eyes open, but other than that, it's like, you want me to
yeah.
sit on the couch at 2 p.m. on a Thursday? Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
naps are the only thing. Like if I put my phone down, I play a lot of Disney Solitaire right now because I got some advertisement for it and I got
Yeah,
sucked
you
in. I was
did.
like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be doing something unless I'm sleeping. And this happens when you get older too. Like if I have like a drink and then I'm like NyQuil, then I can chill on the couch because I'm night night.
Mm. I
That's
notice
so
that as
funny.
I'm getting older though, myself.
Yeah.
Like as I'm getting toward I'm tiptoeing towards my mid-30s. I'm not there yet, but I do notice that too. Like if I have one drink, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yep. No, no. I have to keep
Yep.
going or
Yeah, it's
go to
one or
bed.
the other.
Yeah.
That's
Like if
true.
we're
It's like
going out for two.
NyQuil.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this episode, I want to talk about leadership, and Ryan is amazing at that. So I have come up with a handful of questions. I changed some of them.
Great.
So you said you
Great.
sped through them, so I had to make it a little bit more
I read it like
challenging.
3 or 4 times and I was really excited about all of them. So I love
Okay,
this is my favorite thing. I love a platform to talk about it. Leadership is such a privilege,
yeah,
and I've been blessed my whole career to people to trust me with other humans. I know that's weird, but it's just wonderful.
yeah, I love that.
So from a leadership perspective, people who get very task focused when they're on top of it, and somebody's like, "You're just no fun to play with when you're working, but you're fun all the other time." That's because when there's a task to be done you're focused on the task. So one of the things I tell people, I actually had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this, that is kind of that same like disc assessment as like you and I
Yeah,
are, Paige. And I said, well, you just have to forecast to them, like tell them, hey, especially people who are talking a lot when you're trying to get work done and they want to play. And some
yeah,
people are really good at combining those things. Not me, but
not
some
me,
people are. So you just
not me.
forecast that. Hey, you know what, Paige? I know you really value relationship development and the social element of that, and I appreciate that about you. Unfortunately, me, when it's on task, I'm like I have blinders on, I'm laser focused. So if I'm not as attentive to what you're saying during those conversations, it's not you, it's me, I promise. And so
I
now
love
what you've
that.
done is you forecasted that. So the
Yeah,
difference, a complaint is the difference in what we expect and what we perceive. So if I forecasted that to you and set that expectation, you won't perceive that I'm a butthole. I don't know if I can
yeah,
curse on this podcast
you
or not.
sure
So
can.
then I'm not an asshole because I've told you ahead of time, I value you for who you are. I just, that, that doesn't work with me right now. So if I don't come across that way, it's not you, it's me. And now they probably, when they think you're being an asshole, they might be like, well, no, they told me like we'll play when we're done. I want to get this task done. So
That's so funny. I want to play Erica's voice message that she sent me like 2 days ago that says that I've been all business lately and she just wants to shoot the shit.
Erica, are you the shit shooter?
Well,
Not
okay.
always, though.
When you were talking right now, I can relate to that to some extent because I am I will get very distracted. So like if I am in that laser focus mode and like if, for example, my husband's talking to me, I'm like, just give me a second. Like give me a second and I'll come back to you. And he's like, oh, okay. So like you said, just stating. I thought that
Yeah.
was called ADHD rage. And so like I see a lot of videos that market it as ADHD rage. And so like I would send those to him and be like, this is kind of what's going on. He's like, oh, okay, I get it. So like he's very mindful of that now, but that's what
I love that. What you're doing is you're
Okay.
forecasting expectations. You've said, this is who, it's not you, it's me. This is what you might see. This is what it might look like. And so now when it happens, they don't perceive something else. They perceive what you said. They
Huh.
perceive what you forecasted.
I'm gonna need
That's
a notebook
crazy.
for this.
Sure are.
Yeah, you could probably transcribe the, here, I'll do the audio recording.
Well, that's smart. I'm looking for a pen and paper.
And then,
I'm a pen
and
and
then
paper person.
I will send you the audio transcript of this and you can do whatever you want with it.
Yes, and also I need them because I'll talk over and all the things.
That's okay.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
before we start, though, Erica, what is your disc assessment?
I have that. Can you give me 1 second? I can get the actual thing. It's like right in the
Get it.
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
1 second.
absolutely.
BRB.
Yep.
What do you think she is?
I haven't, if I've spent about an hour with somebody with intentional conversation, I can usually get pretty close. I
Yeah.
want to say but I don't know if it's ID, IS. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Do you know, Paige?
I don't remember.
It's like I have to put my ears out. Okay.
Yeah, me
I get
too.
it. Okay. So much hair to work with. You look
The
like
way you
Belinda there.
the way you flailed it in the wind. Okay.
I used to have
I
long hair, believe it or not. I know
I
that's very
saw.
hard to believe, but
like a
yeah.
pony? A ponytail?
No, but like Zach Morris hair from Saved by the Bell, like 90s hair, because that's my era.
Uh-huh.
Boy bands, like, yeah.
I love that. Like with the little like flap.
Oh, yeah.
I
With the
love
I
that.
flap.
literally had to like, yeah.
Before Justin Bieber. Okay, so I'm SI. Do you need like the picture? Like, do you want to see
Nope,
where I am?
that
Okay.
did it for me. Yep, I'm
Literally
down.
what he
So
said.
it is, yeah. But also,
Really?
Erica, but here's something about yours. And Paige, you actually have this too on your disc assessment. Hold it back up, Erica, for the camera. So because you're not on the edge, that means you're not an extreme. And so if you imagine that circle, that disc, the disc itself, it stands for something, but it's also an actual disc. If you're on the extreme, if you're on the edges, it means you'll exhibit more of that behavior. Your motivations and fears are much more likely to come through. If you imagine the dot and then a whole other circle around that dot, centering on your dot, somebody who's like that, you also will see some of the D, the dominance, the C, the conscientiousness. Like maybe there's a little accuracy, OCD. Maybe sometimes there's principles that need to be fought or hills to die on. Um, those types of things. Maybe you've seen those things before. So you're more centered. So you could be like a chameleon. So depending on what environment you're in, you might adapt to it. But if left to your own devices with nothing else to do, you might lean more into like collaboration, like, are there people that I like that I could work around? You might lean into that if you had no other options. So
I think that would be me by default. Like I like to, but I'm more like a small group type of person. So like if I'm in a small group, I thrive and I feel like I can say what I need to say and be the person that I am. It's
yeah,
just in big groups, I shrivel up. But I didn't feel like I resonated with the S as much. But it was funny because the S was like right there.
you're barely an S. You're barely on there, really. So like if somebody that would be an extreme would be if you put that S up there and you were all the way like at the bottom of the screen. If you were at like the bottom right of that, that's like a firm S. Those folks
Like
are
that's
like,
Brandon.
there you
He's
go.
closer down here.
Yep. Yep. So Erica, when you talked about the small groups, one of the things on the disc is you're kind of close to that. You're really close to that C. And that C it's called conscientiousness. I like to give it little like slangs, like it's control. C for
Hmm.
control. So the reason you might prefer small groups or more intimate groups is because there's less risk of being wrong. Or there's less risk of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. When you're in a more intimate group, you can read the room better. Maybe you know people a little better. Like you might be fine being social in most dynamics, but you're probably most social when you're around people you know and can trust. And so that's where some of that is versus the I. If you were at like the top right of that, doesn't matter. You'll just talk to anybody. You don't care. You just keep talking, keep going, like all the words.
That's so funny. I
Hmm.
also don't like being in, like, I don't like public speaking. I don't like any of that because I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah. So,
And
oh, go ahead, Paige.
that's crazy. No, go ahead. I
So
don't know.
so I have a bunch of conferences I'm speaking at this year, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of public speaking, but every time I have fear, every time,
Yeah.
because I'm a DI. So I'm at like the top of that thing. So I
Okay.
balance between dominance and influence. Well, the motivation, that's all motivation and fear. All of it is. The motivation for an I is influence. The fear is social rejection or disapproval, like letting somebody down or something like that. So when I'm talking, even now, I'm talking to you guys. I'm in the zone now, so I might seem very confident. But before I started talking, when I first got on, I was a little nervous because I'm always worried, how am I going to look? Am I going to look stupid? Am I going to say something stupid? Is somebody going to judge me? They won't like me. They won't sit at my table during lunch. I'll be ostracized by society and I'll be a hermit. Like you just go down that route. Okay, that's an extreme, but it's that rabbit hole, right? But the
Yeah.
dominant side of me, which is results oriented, I'm like, I have things to say. I want people to hear it. I think it can be valuable. I think it will be helpful. So like even when I'll be up on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people several times this year, I'll be really, really nervous until I start talking. And then I'll feel way better about it. So it's
Ugh.
normal. Normal.
Well, that's good. That makes me feel better about
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. See, that's
Because
hey,
you're impressive and you
I'm
can
here
speak
for
in
you.
front of people, so I can do it
Oh,
too. If, yeah,
thanks, Paige. We're samesies, buddy. We're
I
samesies.
know. So, what is your definition of leadership then?
I think leadership by itself just infers you're leading something. So you're leading others, you're leading a dog, you're leading a child, you're leading fellow employees. I think leadership is just trying to help someone with intention. I think that's really the definition of it. You can extrapolate that so many ways, but at its core, everybody who wants to help somebody else with something, I think is a leader.
So, sometimes though, when people think of leadership, they think of like titles. But so what, yes, it's with intention, but when it comes to work or business, what is leadership then? And why,
Yep.
what actually makes somebody a leader in
All
that
right.
aspect?
That's a great question. I will try and keep these answers short so you can ask
You
many of
don't
them.
have to.
All right. So there's two different things at play here, and um, leaders are not always managers. Managers are not always leaders. Those are two separate things. Okay. Managers manage resources. You're responsible for resources, either tasks or projects or expenses, materials, things like that. One of those resources that managers often manage is often human resources, people. Every person is a set of assets and deficits. Some people might say strengths and weaknesses. I'll say like strengths and gaps, things we're good at, things we're not good at. Every person is a set of those things. Those are resources. If you're a good public speaker, that's a person to go publicly speak. If you're good at relationship development, go build relationships. If you're good at bookkeeping, go bookkeep. It's resources. So leadership and management are different things. Leadership, and I might tap into another question you're going to ask me
It's
later,
okay.
Paige, but like what makes a leader is somebody who wants to be responsible for or lead or help other people in some way, shape, or form. This usually starts as just being really good at the thing you're good at. Sometimes people are really good at a thing they're good at and they want to keep it to themselves. I don't want anybody else to know the thing I'm good at because my light won't shine as bright anymore. Or they're like, you know what? I figured some things out. Like it'd be cool if I helped this other person with that thing. That's leadership. That's usually how it starts. And then you end up as like a supervisor where your job is to kind of help oversee performance in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're not in charge of that person, but you're kind of setting a guide. And then you get into like a manager role. Manager means manage resources. Hopefully you're also a good leader, right? Now you're responsible for people. You're responsible for their performance, their results, behavior, results, whatever. And then you get into leading leaders, like a director role. Directors usually manage managers. Now you've got a group of you're helping other people lead other people.
Yeah.
And then you kind of continue to go up from there. And then you take on different responsibilities. But that really the difference is there's a difference in manager and leader. Title usually comes with a management because you have responsibilities. Sometimes those responsibilities include humans.
Mhm. Makes sense. So that makes me think of, like, for example, Brandon and I. He has a lot of skills and a lot of great things that he could lead people, but he has no desire to do that, like none whatsoever. And I think it does come down to like the responsibility. I don't think he
Yeah.
wants that. Um, but not everybody, at the end of the day, not everybody is cut out or interested in becoming in some type of leadership role.
Yeah.
What are some questions people can ask themselves before they decide to step into that role?
Yeah. I'll come back to that. For real quick, I want to just mention Brandon because what I can tell you in something, and I've worked with Brandon for like a year, a couple of years, something like that now. And Brandon does lead. He leads by example. So me, for example, I'm pretty wound up. I'm pretty high strung. Brandon and I have worked together on specific projects with specific customers. Like his ability to take it all in and stay even keel, that's leadership by example. Because if I'm really, and he and I've had specific examples where I got really wound up and he was like, all right, let's take this in. Let's get the right things. Let's bring it all in. We'll figure it out. We'll go from there. It's all going to be fine. Brandon has led me by example in terms of that. He's exhibiting a behavior that I am envious of, that I don't, that's a gap for me. So I have strengths, I have gaps. We'll talk about those, I'm sure, at some point through this, but Brandon does lead. He leads by example. So often people like that. He's so helpful to other people. One of his big drivers is support. He loves to be helpful. Like that's leadership too. So, all right.
Interesting.
So to go back to your question, I think you said, what are some questions you can ask for
Yeah.
somebody maybe who wants to be in a leadership role?
Yeah.
The number one question I ask anybody, and I've been privileged to be responsible for hundreds of employees in my career, like probably 1,000+ interviews. Like, do you want to be responsible for other people? Like, are you interested in helping other people develop in their careers, perform better, get different perspective? It kind of starts with that. You have to at least, you don't have to want to, you don't, that doesn't have to, you don't have to, that doesn't have to be your only thing. Like you could be in a leadership role and also still produce. That's very, very common. I don't want to just lead full time, but I would like to lead and still do a thing myself because I like to achieve and get things done and solve problems and make the world a better place myself also. But it kind of starts with that. You want to be responsible for other people. And, if somebody says yes, then I would say, well, tell me about some leadership traits that other people you've respected. What are some of those things? What are some of the things that you've observed that you really appreciated? And you'll get very, very common answers like, well, I appreciate people being honest with me. I appreciate transparent communication. I appreciate a little bit of trust, trust me to do the thing at some point. Like those are usually those high level answers. And so then the questions would be, well, do you think you could give those to other people? And how would you do that? And usually if you get in a conversation about that, that's a leader. That's somebody who's interested in it, wants to do it. Um, yeah,
Interesting.
So I have a question about that. So
sure.
in a previous life, I was a trainer. Like I would train managers to run their properties or do the things. And I find myself really wanting to help people. Like if an agent calls me with a question, like I don't get annoyed. I'm not like, oh, I don't want to talk. Like I really truly want to help. But when you say like, do you want to be responsible for someone? I don't like, I don't want to be responsible for someone's growth. But if I could just sit there and like teach someone like everything that I know, like download my thoughts into them and like watch them grow, I would love that. But I wouldn't want the responsibility of it. Like I wouldn't want them looking to me as like, I didn't succeed because of you or like
Sure.
something there.
No, that makes total sense. And you are a leader because you're trying to help somebody with intention. Like at the
Mm,
core, that's what it really means. Like
mhm,
taking on a leadership position, maybe I should have defined that a little better. Like somebody's like, well, we want you to be the leader of this team. We want you to lead this organization. We want you to lead this project. A lot of that is responsibility for others. But the fact is, if you go back to its core, I want to intentionally help somebody with something.
mhm.
I have something I like, I've learned, I want to help make somebody else better. That's like a lot of leaders, you would hear the term servant's heart. Like they have a servant's heart. They want to help other people. They derive their value from how much they help other people. A lot of people are like that, and that's leaders. That's a leader's core leadership trait as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now,
No, go ahead.
for example, Erica, like in this case, like, in this business, in the real estate business, like, at some point in time, you might achieve just you'll achieve tremendous success, all the numbers you've ever wanted to hit, you'll do those things. And then you might get to be a point where you're like, okay, I did all that, but man, that was a MF ton of work. Like that was a lot. I got to do all this. I got to do all this networking, all this marketing, all this relationship development. I got to do all this stuff. Like I hit these things. It's not really a challenge to me anymore. Like I did all that. Like I just want to lift a bunch of other people up to do that. Then that becomes like, okay, well, yeah, well, my goal is now what I want to do. I've helped all these customers with their homes. Now I want to bring some other people up. I want to help them, the next generation or something like that. There could be a time when you're like, well, I don't mind being responsible for those people because I'm going to help them get the experience that I had as I was climbing. I had one person that was kind of a mentor. He actually was somebody I was responsible for. He was my employee, but he was also older and he was a mentor. And he used the term lift as you climb. And he was like, as you're moving up, as you're growing, as you're learning more things, as you're climbing the ladder, as you're climbing a career, as you're climbing professional development, like it feels good to lift someone up with you. If you imagine, I think I've seen like some leadership posters where you see like the person like climbing up the mountain and then they've got a hand down, like pulling somebody up with them. That's leadership.
I've been dabbling with the idea of like potentially starting a team at some point. And I, when you say that, I would love nothing more to teach somebody, like I had said. I think where I get hesitant is like I've seen it in action where it's like you can tell someone so many times, this is what to do. I'm victim of this. Like someone can tell me this is what to do. But if I'm not taking responsibility for it in my own self, then I'm never going to get there. And so that's kind of where I think I shy away from when you say, do you want to be responsible for someone?
Okay.
No, I want to be, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I think that I have a lot of value to provide in those ways, um, for someone who would want it
Yeah.
and take responsibility for their own self.
Yeah. So let me give you two things on that. So the first one I'll say is the easy answer, and that's you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Hmm.
It's
My
a
mom says that
old,
all the time.
yeah, it's what old people say. I know your mom's probably not old, but that's what older people say because it was said to us. Like, I was raised by people that were born in like the 30s. And so they said that all the time, but it makes sense. And so I can I can give somebody all of the tools. I can help them raise their internal awareness. I can help them relate that to performance. I can help do all those things. I can give them structure. I can give them framework. If you do this, then this will happen. If you want results, here are the activities and behaviors that you need to achieve results. Um, they still have to want to do it. And what I will tell you is something I am definitely guilty of as I've kind of moved more towards like coaching and away from being a manager myself, where I had, somebody was like, hey, Ryan, we need your responsibilities to produce $500 million a year in production. Well, that's like my goal. Like, I got to do that. So I needed people to do some things. And I'll talk about that in a second. But now that I'm more coaching, like, I will give you all the tools and I will help you find these things, but you got to want to do it yourself. So at some point, that accountability kind of goes on to you. And I'll stay with you with accountability, but you got to want to do it too. So that's like the leadership answer. The manager answer comes in. Remember, these are kind of two separate things. You can be a leader and a manager. You can be a manager and a leader, but they are separate things. You get to lead. You have to manage, right? That's the difference. So the first one was you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. The next one is escalation. So that word's important. And one of the things I teach when it comes to I've given somebody the tools, they're still not performing. That's escalation. If you're not seeing a behavior or an activity that's important, Somebody's not making their calls. Somebody's not following back. Somebody's not being honest about something or whatever activity, attitude, activities, behaviors, things like that. You don't have the same conversation over and over. And when you said, I've told them time and time and time again, and they're still not getting it, that's because it's probably the same conversation. So what is helpful is when you first have that first conversation, it's really casual. When, hey, this is a thing. This is a way to do it. This is what I've seen from it. And they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, I got that. A lot of people, you'll never have to talk to them again. They picked it up. They learned from you. You led them. If they still didn't get it, then the next conversation is still kind of casual. Like, hey, we talked about this before. I just want to clarify with you, like, is this missing? Did you understand? Is there anything else I can convey to you? That's the second conversation, but I kind of increased it over the first one. Those are leadership conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the management conversations. So the third conversation, then it's hey, Erica, like we've talked a couple times before. I kind of brought this up casual, easy. And then also like I asked you, I clarified, you understood what I was talking about. Like at this point, like I really like you. I want to work with you. I want you to be on this team, but you like whoever's in this role, you have to achieve a certain level of performance. Like you have to do these things. And I really need you to do that. Like, can we agree that you'll do that going forward? And I don't want to be the bad guy. Please don't make me, be the bad guy to you. Like I need this are we good? Okay. That was escalation, right? Okay. Now the fourth time is, I'm going to say the casual thing. Okay. This is the fourth damn time we've talked about it. It's your own effing fault. Like you're stupid, get lost. No, I'm just kidding. You wouldn't actually say that. But that's the conversation where it's like, hey, this is the fourth time we've talked about this. I've given you everything I can. I don't know if this role's right for you. I want you to be happy. I know you want to be successful. Nobody comes to work to fail. But I don't know if this is right for you. You're not doing these things because you don't want to. Even if you do them, are you going to be happy in this role? Maybe you should consider something else,
Mm-hmm.
like underwater basket weaving or something different than this. So what happened is that's a process that I just went through. It's a 4-step process. I call it suggest, ask, tell, document. That's a good process for managers. When you are genuinely, if your title and you're paid to be responsible for other people, then that's management. I didn't want to have those second two conversations. I didn't want to do the tell and the document. I wanted to lead you. But when that doesn't work, now I have to manage it.
So it seems like leading someone, leadership is more of like a mutual, hey, we both want to be here, you want to be here type of situation. Manager feels more like you have to be there.
Yeah, I really love the way you put that. I don't think I've heard it phrased that way, and that's a great perspective. Like the leadership side is like mutual.
Huh.
Like I want to lead you, you want to be led.
Yes.
That's a beautiful relationship. And most of the time, even in management positions, in my experience, most of the time, that works. Most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. And then, yes, you then have to manage. So that's the disconnect about title. So when you're considering what makes you happy, like for example, right now you said, I really like helping other people, but I don't want to be responsible for them. I don't want to have to be the one that yells at them or has conflict with them. That's really what that's about. Like, I don't want to have to be in that situation. That's fine. So, but that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So like some people, if they're like, well, no, like, yeah, I want to lead first, but I'm willing to have that conversation if I have to. Okay, well, now you can take the title, make the salary, make the extra money, do all those things.
So for you, Erica, you also don't want people to fuck up and then try to blame you. You said that as well too.
Well,
And
yeah, I don't want someone blaming their lack of
yeah,
responsibility on me. Like, oh, well, she didn't tell me that. She didn't teach me that. No,
yeah,
because she did.
yeah. That's something that I've struggled with too. Like I think Erica would be great at like teaching, coaching, educating on that aspect. But I think you would be a great team leader, but I feel like there's a confidence that if you're giving the right information, nobody can really blame you. Like they can try,
Right.
but there's no basis to it. There's no
Yeah,
weight to that
yeah.
accusation.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say about that. Like if you like that process I just kind of talked about, like you read the job description, before somebody takes a role or takes on a response, they kind of know what it's about. And then now they've had a leader give them some other tools. Like if you get to the point to where you have to go back to them and say, listen, like if you want to be on this team, you got to do these things. It's their fault. As long as you had those other conversations first, by the time you get to, it's their fault. So it's not on you as a failure. Like you already had those conversations. Hey, I've tried this. Then it's them. And so that helps when I tell you that, it helps with like, did I fail them? And that's why I have to be mean to them. I don't want to. No, as long as you had the other ones, you've done everything you can do.
I'm wondering if this goes into like that collaborative part of me because I would more rather be like, come on, everybody, like, let's go do this all together. Because I've been a manager, I've managed a team of people and I've sat down, I've had the difficult conversations like, hey, you're late. Hey, you're not getting your job done. Hey, you're doing this. None of that felt good to me. I can do it if I have to. It's not like I'm afraid, but that's not, I guess, what I would be looking for. It would be more like that. Hey, everyone, let's go have some fun
Yeah.
together. Let's go do the things together. So.
Yeah. I've said it 17 times, you effing moron. Why don't you get it? Now I have to be a jerk. Uh, Erica, nobody likes the
Yeah, I don't like
conversations
that.
about telling somebody they're late. Nobody likes to do that. Nobody likes to
Nobody.
say, hey, get your shit together, bro. Like, show up, do what you said you were going to do. Like, come on. Nobody likes to do that. So you're not weird or different that you don't like to do that. Nobody likes to do that.
I
I'm
just
this
like, just
weird.
go. Just
Yeah,
go.
let's just go. Let's just do it. Let's go
Yeah.
together. Yeah. Yeah.
I love
I'm
that.
like that weird person that doesn't mind difficult conversations, but because it opens up an opportunity to teach something.
Mm.
But I sure didn't like it early in my career.
So do you think leadership and healthy communication go hand in hand then?
Oh, hands down. Probably one of the most, Paige, you're going to hear this so much from me. Probably one of the things that comes out of my mouth the most. And I have like some fractional leadership roles and things like that that I still do, even though I'm out of the rat race. A complaint is the difference in what we expect and what we perceive. Remember that. A complaint is the difference in what we expect and what we perceive. If
Give me an
I don't,
example.
oh, I'll give you what. If I don't set the expectation, you will perceive whatever the hell your brain wants to perceive. And we're all very different. It could be because you're mad that day because there was road rage. Could be because you had an absent parent, whatever number of things that make us the weird human beings we are. That's what will perceive something, unless I tell you first. That's forecasting. For example, let me give you a real estate example. Thank you for trusting me and letting me list your home. Here's a summary of the things I will do for you. I will have this many open houses. I will market you among my socials, and I have this many people. I will do this many signs in your. I will do these things. Also, I will communicate with you every Thursday afternoon because that's when I talk to all my clients. Whether I have an update or not, I will send you something. Okay. I've now told you that. I need to do it. Because I did that, your customer is way less likely to randomly text you at 10 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday because they know that conversation is coming. But if you didn't tell them when you were going to communicate with them, you might think, hey, I'll talk to them every couple of weeks. I'm sure that's enough. No. Some people maybe. Some people, if you don't talk to me every day with what's going on, I am disappointed in you. You're a terrible human being. You're fired. Get the fuck out. I want somebody else. Because that's what their brain interpreted was enough communication. But if you said in the beginning, I forecast it for you, this is when I'll communicate, they would have told you on the spot, that's not enough. Or, oh, that's great. Thank you. And now they know. If they don't think you communicate well enough, it's probably because you didn't tell them when you were going to communicate. Now, that's just an example of a business. That works in terms of, that's relationships, that's spousal relationships, where, yes, we have jobs and personal lives, but it's all psychology. All of it is. It's all basic stuff. Like, so you think about if somebody's upset with you, they have a complaint. Okay, Was there some way we could have communicated ahead of time to where you didn't see something I saw? Like when I do talk, sometimes I'll say, listen, I'm here to help you stop expecting other people to think like you do.
Oh my gosh, that I say that very often. Well, my husband is like the closest person to me, but like I do tell him often because like when he would be working, he's very like fast, fast, fast. And I, on the other hand, I can be very high energy also, but I'm not fast by any means. Like I'm just processing, thinking it through, whatever.
You want to be right.
Eh, oh my god, so
Very
much.
much so.
But but that's something I would say to him is like, not everybody is that fast. He's like, "Well, they're just sitting there doing like they could be moving so much faster." I'm like, "True, but that's not everybody's like vibe." So you can't expect everybody to be like you.
Yep.
I've learned.
Yep. Yep. And that's important. So that's why we can make a statement like that. That's why I use tools like personality assessments. I happen to love DISC. We've been talking about DISC a little bit. There are so many others out there, like, so many other tools out there, but they're helpful because they're validating that because they talk about you first. Like when you read your DISC assessment, you're like, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff about me. Well, that helps validate you are who you are. That then infers that other people are different.
But isn't it crazy that there's only so many variations of us? Like it's
Yeah, so that goes all these assessments and stuff. I was on predictive index for a long time. I've taught Myers-Briggs. I just love DISC because anybody can look at it and I can explain it to anybody. But there's Hippocrates, which was a Greek philosopher like 2,300 years ago or some shit like that. He came up with the four humors. They call him the father of modern medicine. He came up with the four humors. It was physiological, black bile, yellow bile, phlegm, and blood, and he equated those to personality traits. And so, like, sanguine are people who are more extroverted, outgoing, social. Caloric are people who are more like stoic but results oriented, dominant. That we got to go do this. This is what matters. Easy priority people, like not always the friendliest. Um, and then you have people who are like the phlegm people, like they're maybe the more like super chill, like I kind of move at a slow pace, kind of like a snail, like snot, like I'm just like easy going. Um, and then you have the melancholic, that's the C. Those are people that are like very stoic, or not results, but accuracy. Like, what's the right way to do this? Being wrong is the worst thing ever. My wife's gonna kill me because she's gonna watch this, but she is a highest C. Like on the DISC assessment, she's extreme on the DISC assessment, the far as you can get on the C. And she is deeply competitive, deeply. When we play board games, ruthless. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that when you meet her. Ruthless. It's not about winning. It's about not losing. It's about if I lose, I was wrong. Her fear of being wrong is so strong that it makes it seem like she's trying to win. It's not that. It's not the motivation to win. It's the fear of losing.
So I have a quick question. Do you think that like females tend to be more on one side or in one area than males, or like
Uh,
is it vary?
yeah. So in my experience, and I would say I've used DISC 100. I've wholly every. That's the only assessment I use anymore. About 3 years, I probably have 200 people that have done it, maybe a few more. I don't see a variance in terms of where people are. Um, I I will say that I might see more men on the extremes, the
Mm.
higher D, the higher I, I might see more of that. But the difference is, I think, boy, you guys aren't around me to punch me. So if you see me next time and I say something wrong, you can physically assault me. It's fine. Um, I think life is harder on women. I think you have to adapt more. I think you have to roll with the punches more. I think men can sometimes just kind of get away with being like, this is who I am. It's what you can expect. It is what it is. And like mothers can't do that, and daughters and sisters. And I think there's more expectations on women to be a certain way. So you operate, I think women have to operate out of their comfort zone more than men do. But how we're actually wired, I don't necessarily see that much of a difference.
Because I feel like wanting to be right is more of a women thing because at least maybe the women I've been around, because I personally feel like men are just more like, okay, like it's nothing's that serious with them. It's just very much like, okay, like on to the next thing, like
I
whatever.
think that's
Like,
societal pressure. I think that's what kind of what I'm talking about. It's harder on women. I think society puts more constraints on women than it does on men. Men just get away with some things. That's who I am. I just said that because it's who I am. A woman says that and they're like, oh, honey, like, no, that's wrong. You're shame on you. You're a terrible human being.
well, I want you to know why I think that. Like, I want you to know where I'm coming from and I want you to see my perspective on things before we
Yeah.
move on. And then we can
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I experienced yesterday that there's certain people out there that don't give two fucks what your perspective is. They are going to stay right, and I want to punch him in his face. So that's my rage comment for
So
today.
so good timeout on that one. So often people, and I know this is not a disc conversation. I was on a podcast yesterday and I did talk about disc. So if you watch that podcast, you'll learn all about disc. Um,
What is it? Real estate with real faces.
that is real estate with real
Um,
faces. Yep. 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 So
love
when that
that.
one airs, I talked about disc the whole time. So people that are like that, Paige, those type of people can be very triggering, because they just are I just saw you take a deep breath. Um, People that are really high D on the DISC assessment, high
Big
dominance. Now
D.
remember, D for dominance. D also stands for dick, just
Thank
like
you for
Dick
C stands
energy.
saying.
for control. Yeah. So those people, it's very easy to misunderstand them. It's their own damn fault. Most of the time, they don't care. It's because their
Oh, yeah.
primary driver is results. They
Mm,
care immensely about result. And those are very decisive people. They don't need your feedback. They don't care about your feedback. They think they know what's right. This is the right way to get it done. Let's go. Those people can be a trait they have is in being inconsiderate. And
very.
being inconsiderate is triggering to people who are anywhere near the I. If you have any I in you, any of that I for influence, because you're people oriented, right? I care about what people think, some way, shape, or form. Maybe you
Yeah.
could still care about what people think and not care whether they like you or not. It's just
Yeah.
people care. If you are that person, if you have any of that in you, the D people will trigger you. And
Yes.
I have people in my life as well. I have clients that are high D. We have conversations about those things. So I have D and
Yeah.
I have D as well, but
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of the D and the I. So I do always think about results. Kind of like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
If the three of us were working on a project or a task, I would be very focused. I care about the opinions, but it's not social time for me. Like, okay, what do we need to do to get this thing done? When we get it done, now let's go social. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about last episode of Game of Thrones or Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I did not watch season 2 because I thought it was going to be a murder mystery. It was not. So I'm not watching season 2.
What do
But
you think?
yeah,
What was it? Was this the one with the
With
wives
mom
from
talk.
TikTok with
Yeah.
Mom Talk?
I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
know that. I was like, this is 8 episodes. This is a murder mystery. This is exciting. It was not that. Nobody
It's like,
died.
is
They
it an
all have the
orgy
same
fest
hair.
episode?
No,
Huh?
they
Okay.
soft swing.
They soft
It's a
swing.
whole thing.
Soaking.
But
I
we
learned
watched
with
the damn thing. I was like, it's
that's
gonna at
gross.
episode 8, somebody's gonna die. Nope. I was like, oh, one of these girls is gonna kill somebody because there's betrayal and all this other stuff. Nope.
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 It's
Nope.
yeah. One time I was stuck on the couch and put it on and I was like, okay, this is not for me. This is odd.
Very odd.
It's just a weird reality show. But I have a question. So do you get I have so many questions, but
I asked all of them. I
All
got
of
all
them.
day and I love doing this. So I
and
have been looking forward to this so
aw,
much.
I love that.
Yay.
So we'll get back on track with the questions, but like you said that eyes are very triggered by D's.
They can be, yeah,
They
because they're
can be.
inconsiderate.
Okay. So like I've recently decided to say that's a hard personality for me instead of like I don't like them or whatever because I know it's just like different personality types. I also think that learning
Positive perspective.
I'm
Okay.
trying to turn over a
Good
new
for
leaf.
you. That's healthy.
Yeah. So I also have read books about like different like the colors or whatever, which is similar to the D's, but it does help you almost feel like you're learning a different language. You're like, okay, I know this person doesn't want my high energy. I need to relax a little bit to get through to them how they want to be spoken to. But my actual question was, since you're like right in the middle between a D and an I, those are so conflicting. Do you feel conflicted sometimes in your own
Yes.
self?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And everybody's it's not that common that people are only one thing and it's extreme.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen, but it's of the hundreds of people, it's probably 20% are on the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is somewhere in the middle. And if you think
Mm-hmm.
back to like the beginning when I was like, it's a big circle. It's a big circle. I've got a visual aid. I should have had this ready.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. That's cool.
Yeah, big circle. So you were like right here. Okay.
Huh?
So this is a circle. Now imagine if there was another circle that was centered on you. Like it might not catch the edges here. Most people are somewhere in here. So the question is about like conflict. Like what's the conflict with your different, there's my face, your conflict with like what's the different priorities or things like that. So me, I care a lot about people. That's the I. The result orientation, it's usually people related. So when I'm looking for a result, the first result I look for and then will relentlessly pursue is what's the thing to do right by people?
Hmm.
Relentlessly pursue. So here's what happens. I'm this influencer that like, I want to help people. I want to do things. I care about people. But then if something messes with that, you get a very assertive, dominant version of me. Um, People who don't care about the influence side, who don't care about the people side, they just care about the results. So you get that dominance from them with this is the right thing to do. This is the way to make money. This is the way to reduce expense. I will say this is the way to do the right thing by people.
I
So
have a thought
that's
on
the
that.
yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You can finish your statement.
Well, I will so the D you asked about the conflict. I start from a place that's centered. When you get the D from me, the dominant side from me, it's usually about people.
Hmm.
So quit chuckling, Paige.
Literally a 13-year-old boy in a middle school biology class when
Yeah,
it
so
comes
I
to
have
this
another
shit.
theory, and I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't know that most of us ever mature past like junior high. We just start
Yeah.
adapting to our environment.
Hmm.
Yeah, we still all laugh at the same. You can walk into a crowded room of executives and say like fart or poop, and they'll laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What the hell?
exactly.
Ah. Okay, so you and I are a lot alike, and this got brought up last month, and
Me
I think
here,
it's
Paige here. Me here,
y-
Paige here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm more adaptable.
you
I'm just
are.
kidding.
Yes, fine.
Just kidding.
Quit judging me.
Um. Okay, so my first instinct when a problem is addressed or comes to me, I have my very first instinct, my first thought is to always be direct. And then I have to realize that like this person's a human and I have to be considerate. But someone said the other day, one of my agents, she was like, I want to go meet with this person because I think Paige would sugarcoat things to me and not be straight up. And one of my other agents was like, Paige is actually pretty direct. This agent has never seen this. But she does know that when there are situations, because I am direct when I'm like venting, I know exactly what I want to say, how I want to say it, but I soften it for people. And so this agent asked me to take my gloves off, which I am not going to do because I feel like that's inhumane. But I feel like, is your first instinct ever to be like, is like almost too cold?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the situation. Is it people or
Mm-hmm.
is it task?
It can be both. Sometimes people can make me want to be real direct.
Yeah. So this is what happened. Erica, this goes back to kind of your question in terms of is there conflict? So it really depends on the scenario because if it's a task and it's something that needs to get done, especially if it's like urgent, like then it's like we got to get on it. For example, let's say your kid falls down and you're not sure if their leg is broken or not. Do you give a fuck about what anybody in the way cares about or thinks, or are you trying to get them where they need to get to figure this out?
get them where they need
You're
to
on
go.
task. That's a
Yeah.
task. I have to get to this result. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what anybody thinks. If it's something where you're not at the end, it doesn't have to be done today. There still could be some people element of it. Now is where you make an attempt. The result is still in mind, but you're making an attempt at bringing people along. That's where the sugarcoating comes from. If I don't have to be a dick, I don't want to be. Like I have tough conversations with clients and people all the time where I'm like, you really suck at this thing. But they also know that I think they're great at a lot of other things. And I'll say that. You kind of go back to that old school like compliment sandwich thing. Let
Mhm.
me tell you let me tell you something nice about yourself, something crappy, and then something else nice. It's that the concept behind that makes sense, but you got to be genuine. And so like that scenario depends on the people involved, what your comfort level is, things like that.
I tend to be like that, Paige. Like if Eris asks me a question, like it gives me a situation, off the rip, I want to be very like, this is right, this is wrong, that's what you need to say. But then I have to pull back and be like, oh, okay, mm, this is family or whatever. Like it's I need to soften it a little bit. But my first instinct off the rip is I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think that, so that's like I sugarcoat too, because I would, if there's an opportunity where I can try and make it as positive as possible, that's part of my goal in the result. I would like to
Mhm.
achieve this result in as positive a way as possible. So I might sugarcoat. Once that's over, or if I'm close to the people I'm collaborating with, then I'm just going to be really direct. And that might be what happens, Paige, like people that you're intimately comfortable with, that know you trust, you might not sugarcoat anything.
I don't.
Or somebody, like, for example, dealing with somebody you don't respect because maybe they're inconsiderate. You don't care. You don't care about making them happy. You're just going to say
But I
what needs
still
to be said.
soften it. I softened it for him, and
Are
he still
you,
was a dick.
do you, when you're in that situation and somebody was being a jerk and you softened the approach later, do you wish you hadn't softened it? You still feel good that you softened it?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah. Like so this situation, I realize that I am quiet petty, and I will get my I'll get my lick back in a quiet way, or when time comes, or when it's necessary. Whereas Brandon in this situation, he's like, I'm going to be fucking petty now. I want to do this shit now. I'm going to lose my shit now. And I'm just like, no, well, don't you worry. I strategize. He is like, which kind of sounds bad when you say it out loud a little bit, depending on the situation. But I
Paige is a
also,
plotter.
Paige is a plotter, but Paige is also strategic. But in this situation, though, like, what benefit is it going to give me to meet him where he's at? What is it going to do? Because he's
Yeah.
not budging, and he's not going to budge. So I'm just going to get myself all riled up. I'm going to say
Yeah.
things out of anger. And that ghetto Paige is retired, so I feel guilty when she comes out a bit. So
Yeah.
I try to hide it.
I have the holy trinity of psychological problems. I have self-confidence issues, I have control issues, and I have ego issues. And those three things are always at battle in my head, causing me problems somehow in some way. I recognize they're there. I'm very self-aware, but they come out. So maybe this is a man thing. My ego is a problem. I will meet dominance with dominance. And I will also, if I think somebody is doing the wrong thing by other people, then my dominance comes out. That's where there's conflict. If I think something's wrong by people, we all think different things are wrong. Some people might be like, your report's not accurate. That's wrong. I'm like, fuck your report. You were a dick to that person. Now I'm going to tell you. It's all different things that trigger us. And so a trigger is anything that takes us away from who we intend to be. That's something that triggers me. So that's one of the reasons I struggled as an executive in the banking world, is because there might have been some people that I didn't think took leadership seriously. I didn't think did the right things by their people. I didn't respect them. And so I didn't collaborate well with them. I didn't
I have a
didn't
question
like
on
those
that,
things.
because we see this in the industry a lot, where people are in leadership for they don't want to take responsibility for anybody or anything. They want to influence and look a certain way. They care more
Okay.
about the title. How
Okay.
the fuck do you deal with those people? Because that triggers me.
I think so. I think you kind of answered the question there. I mean, you have an idea on why you were empathetic in that. You have an idea on why they are doing that. You
Yeah.
said they want to influence people. Okay, so they're in a leadership position. They want to influence people. They have ideas or thoughts or a concept, the way they see something, the way they do something. They're in a leadership position because that will help them get that at a higher level. It will help that message go out. It will help influence the direction of an organization or thing in a way they think it should be influenced. You might disagree with them. They're doing what they think is the right thing to do or what will get their thing done. They're doing their thing. That doesn't trigger me because I'm like, well, I disagree with your concept on this, but I understand you're using this to get something done. When I struggle with that is when somebody's only in the position because of the ego element. And that happens. It absolutely happens. If you wanted the thing because it's helpful for your ego, but you don't want to do the responsibilities that come with it, get out. That happens. That's frustrating for me. Paige, are you still there?
I think Paige is frozen.
Yeah, you should take a picture of that face.
She looks very confused.
Yeah.
That's funny.